Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Yvette Cooper has decided that current laws are not extreme enough and that she wants to increase the scope, if you will, of handing down very long crimes. Now, she said that the plans that the Labour government have got are to extend terrorism laws into the field of misogyny. And so misogyny will now become an act of terror. I think this is a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Now, I'm not saying there isn't misogyny, but there's various levels of it. Is it really misogynist to wolf whistle a pretty girl? Some would argue yes. Some women probably miss being whistled at. Who knows? Sure, though, there are enough laws to stop violence against women, being attacked and things like that, or being maltreated. There's already enough laws in place for this kind of thing. And so you have to wonder why this strange, and it's a strange uplift that misogyny now should be a terror crime. Now, I don't think that they think this. I think this is gaslighting. I think they're trying to make misogyny a terror crime so that they then can get Islamophobia to be a terror crime, because they've got to prepare the way for the religion that is yet to come in this country. I think that's the movement. I think this is laying down a foundation in law. Well, if you are, if you treat women unfairly, if you moan about women, if you say something bad about women, that's terror and you get 30 years. And then they'll extend that, like I say, to other things. And so this is a gateway law, not a law in and of itself to protect women. And we know that the Labour Party don't really want to protect women. Protection of women is the last thing they want. This is the party that's pushing for men to be treated as women if the men just want to be women. This is the party that wants to eradicate any kind of psychological testing for trans people and just let people decide whether they're men or women on a whim or a quim. And it is as simple as that. So there is no real want and desire by the Labour Party for this legal protection of women and girls. I think this is like I say, they're just gaslighting it. There's also the fact, of course, that if they did bring this in, how many people would charge the Labour Party and the Labour ministers with exactly that? When they pass laws that allows a man to enter a female toilet, is that not misogyny? Is that not then a terror crime? I mean, that would be the ultimate kickback, wouldn't it? But these plans, they want to look at treating misogyny against women and girls in the same way as Islamist and far-right terrorism and violence and extremism. And they're having this review at the moment. They're pushing this big legal review that's going through. And old Yvette Cooper's up there doing the rounds, trying to look very smug about it, trying to show how she cares for women. But she doesn't. She doesn't give one flying F for women. It's a very weird position. People would be jailed for a very long time just simply for holding, for example, religious views. Having the religious views that a man is more important than a woman. Is she ready to take that one on? Is she ready to face the human rights involved with taking on organised religion? I don't think so, because they're not very bright. But they're having this, they're putting it through, this review, this legal review, but they're calling it what's called a rapid review. Now, I'm just going to move my camera a second there because something keeps knocking it. And I think it's me. Now, what a rapid review is a way of looking things and bunging it through, but without going in any depth, without pondering the unponderable, without saying, oh, let's have a look at all the possible consequences of rushing through a really stupid law. No, this is one of those, okay, we've had a look, let's get it on the books. Okay, boom. And then hang the consequences, we'll deal with them later when it all falls apart and we're all made to look like complete and utter twats, which always happens when you make fast-tracked laws. But they're going to look apparently at what they call across the entire ideological spectrum. Now, does that mean, oh, there's going to be certain exemptions for certain groups, and we know what groups will be exempted, don't we? Straight up, the moment they're talking about looking at ideological exemptions, you know exactly what that means. It means you and me and normal people won't be allowed to say boo to a goose, but certain groups, you know who, will be able to slap their many wives, and that'll be perfectly acceptable because it's ideologically acceptable and shit like that. They're talking about incels now being a crime. It's a crime to be an incel. Is it crime to have a fear of heights? Is that coming? You know, I don't know. But this scheme, this preventative measure, as they're calling it, won't change anything. They can pass as many laws as they like, making many things illegal. Doesn't mean they don't happen. It's unenforceable usually. It's two words: his word against her word, because most of this stuff goes on behind closed doors, out of public gaze. How can you possibly prove it? I mean, accusations are fine, but they're only accusations without evidence, without proof. It's his word against hers, or her word against hers, because a woman can be misogynistic as well. We know Yvette Cooper, for one. Any female politician that votes to allow men into women's safe spaces, like the Labour Party want to do, like the Labour Party want to allow men into our crisis centres. That's misogyny, and women will vote for that. They must be guilty of it. So they must go and face terrorism charges then, if that's what Labour want to do. It's an absolutely bonkers idea from a party, 42 days or whatever it is now, 43 days into power, and they are literally running out of ideas that they're already now scraping the bottom of the barrel. This is how bad it is now. What are they going to do in 5 years' time? It's a dangerous thing. Healthcare professionals are against it because they're saying that a doctor may take different approaches to men and women in a hospital. Would that be misogyny? Would they be up for that? Everybody is questioning this, and they're saying that there's no counter to it, there's no opposition to it, there's no scrutiny of it, and that they're rushing in a law that will have massive societal consequences without thinking any first iota of what those consequences will be. Typical of Labour. Get it on the books, and we'll make it and change it later after we've destroyed many people's lives. Let me know what you think. Take care. Goodbye. Speak soon.